Hello and welcome to Casting Roles, a persistent D&D campaign played by a bunch of theater nerds. Thank you for joining us for episode 80. If you're liking the show, please don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. And if you'd like to reach out to us on social media, you can find us on Twitter at Casting Roles and on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Casting Roles ILM. We are down a Kaimana today as it is his birthday. And I think he's building something, so, you know. He can do him.
Sorry, I thought I'm just building. I pictured him like building like just notes.
with Atwood, God knows it could.
Yes, not that
fun.
But submarine, yes,
or plane.
Yes,
one of the two.
But our videos are uploaded on our YouTube channel on Fridays. But with no other announcements, we'll go ahead and start the show. So ticket takers, after leaving the town of Bogtown, you boarded a vessel with all of your emotional trauma and sailed off to the island nation of Nuevea. At the behest of one having to pick up Darren Longblade of the Seablade, but also because Robin Goodfellow informed you that the town of Nuevea was probably the most urgent place to focus your energies of the three kind of areas that you're currently aware of. Because he's a Fae, man. Also, yeah. With the added the benefit there that he's sending you on a mission that would replace your current mission for him to either convince Wisteria to return to the Feywild so they can shut the final portal, or make her go back. Either way. So you set sail. You spend 3 days aboard the Something Ticket This Way Comes, Marlowe in a spice cabinet. But the rest of you kind of just, building things or crafting potions or discovering your Fey ancestry comes with magic gifts. And then, using your new weaponry to scare off a rock that thought that you might be an easy meal. But eventually, some of the interpersonal conflicts came to a head between Marlowe and Abel. And there was an attempt at an apology, wasn't well received, it wasn't well delivered. Saurus kind of reading Abel in a rare act of truth telling on Saurus's part. But then this was all waylaid by a squirrel who learned how to steal things and Jury summoning a unicorn. And
don't forget the backflip.
Oh, and the backflip, of course. He finally landed up.
Yeah.
Well, either way.
So sick.
Yes. But you arrived finally at the end of the third day of travel with Nuevea off in the distance. And we are coming in at this point to port. At this moment, Jury, just for my own edification, will you roll a d10 for me, please?
Sure. Let's see how this goes. It was so great last time I rolled a
D10.
I got redemption arc.
I got a 4.
Okay, that's better.
Not a 1.
Okay,
it's not a 1.
Okay, cool. Fantastic. All right. So,
Good.
Scared.
That lets me know. All right, cool. All right.
You know what, Josh?
Things. What? All right. So as the sun's setting in the background and the veil ever present in the distance behind the city, you approach the patrolling air guard, now recognizing the Something Ticket This Way Comes, don't halt your advance towards the aerodrome, but you sail into the aerodrome and you bring the ship to a stop and tie it off. What would you all like to do?
I think we should have I'm sorry, Jace.
I literally just whistled. I'm so sorry, Rob.
No, I didn't want to interrupt you. So
No. I'm sorry. I interrupted.
Whistle.
Nonsense.
no, I think we should have a brief session of group plotting because we're gonna scatter our own ways, and so we figure should.
Oh, I was kind of thinking to stay together, but we can scatter if you want.
I don't necessarily want it. I just can't see all of us aligning in the exact same way. So let's have the confab and see what discussion comes up with.
Confab.
Oh, all right.
Well, I think Abel will want to find his parents immediately and deliver the warning.
Yeah, do you want us to come with you? Or do you want that?
Yes, because technically wasn't Abel unconscious and then immediately teleported to the ship when the warning was given?
Yeah, but we
I
filled
never-
you. We filled you
in.
Yeah, you filled me in, but like I never heard it myself.
Sure. Yeah.
So, I'm sure you guys are very detailed, but
I think
if you guys want to tag along, then yeah.
that's great. Jury, I assume at some point you want to go deal with your mom in whatever way you want to. But I know Amalia knows a bit about her ward situation, maybe, so it might be good to talk to her before we do that. I also think it would be very useful to talk with Bolton and Zell and see if they perhaps have noticed anything going on in the castle.
Yeah.
I think in trying to keep the Lioness and Ogawan safe, I think we need to make plans to get them somewhere, because this is supposed to be happening fairly soon, is to get them somewhere safe and protected where we can hole up until all hell breaks loose. And I was thinking that should be Ogawan's lab, because that's got the machine he was working on that would keep ostensibly the Rakshasa out. It's also where the big ass gem is that the Lioness uses. And it's also, I'm assuming, built well because it's an experimentation area for people. So it's probably got thick walls and limited entranceways.
It is in a mine, so like it's literally carved into the side of a mountain.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that would be the place to set up plans of going, okay, if it breaks loose, or even if we want to do it beforehand, this is where we need to end up, and who all do we want to end up with us? Like, do we want the rats to stay on the ship? Do we want them to come? Do we want Bolton and Enzel and Alyria, or do we want them to be someplace else? I also had the idea about, I've been thinking about what would happen if word got out that Prince Vicus is a Rakshasa.
That's very bad. That's probably the worst thing we could do.
So what I was thinking is I could go down to the Lowtown and make contact with some people who could spread rumors about Vicus, saying that he was acting differently since he came back from Alyria.
Well, I don't think we want people to think he's a Rakshasa.
No, I just want to plant that he's been behaving odd since he came back, and so if it comes out that he's a Rakshasa, the thought would be, oh, he must have gotten body swapped in Alyria.
Oh, interesting.
Not that he's been living here as a Rakshasa the entire time. And if nothing ends up happening, he's just behaving different since he came back from Alyria. There's no harm, no foul.
Oh, yeah. And there was a documented instance of a slot in Alyria, so it wouldn't be horrible to throw the suspicion that way.
Yeah, so I that's something that I can go do just to kind of prep things so that if all hell does break loose, it doesn't bring the monarchy down. Because that would suck.
Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah, we could let you go do that while we go talk to Oguan. If you want, we can start setting things up.
I'll go with you to Ogawan, and then after that, because that'll probably be where we figure out when we're going to meet up, and then after that, I'll split off while you go deal with Amalia.
Sure, but I think we should talk to Oguan first and see what the situation is with everything. We could talk to Oguan, see what Bolton and Zell found out.
Sounds great.
Cool.
We have a plan.
All right. So you all disembark and head. You're in the palace aerodrome, so you head towards like the tram that takes you to Ogwan's lab. Load up there and then travel down through the kind of spiraling mountain space down into the lab itself, and you arrive into the large cavernous space with the gleaming zephyrsite in the walls and the large central rotating zephyrsite crystal. And you immediately see like Jaren in like shirt sleeves, kind of like working at something in a corner, and then like Ogwan kind of in the corner also like dabbing sweat off of his brow, and they're having a conversation about something that's there. But when they see the tram approaching, like Ogwan like looks up, and then when he sees that it's all of you, he puts down some tools and wipes grease off of his hands, and then makes his way over to the tram. Hi, ticket takers. It's good to see you all safe and sound. Was your trip to Bogtown safe, I assume?
We have some important news that we need to let you know. We were able to find the crew for the, what was it called?
Seablade.
Mm-hmm.
The Seablade. I should know that. And that mission went fine, but while we were there, we stopped a creature that allowed us to interact with a fey creature, and he gave us a warning that you and Mother were in danger back here at Nuevea. We need to make sure that we take you all to a safe place.
And that the danger was coming very soon.
Yes. And we'll just explain everything that Robin Goodfellow said. I believe our best course of action is to have the Ibura search the entire castle and make sure we know the whereabouts of everyone in the castle.
Okay, we can make that happen.
Where's Mother?
She is currently with a council meeting occurring in the palace at this time.
We need to make sure that they are safe immediately.
If anyone is safe in Nuevea, it is your mother, wherever she walks.
I understand that, but I would feel better if you two were together, where we could keep an eye on each other.
Jaren and I are almost finished with the work here. Preto Yukuzi has been helping with some of the transfusions. I think that if the two of you were to take over, but I think that my place here is very important with finishing the work that we want to do.
Can you send to the lioness to come here when she finishes the council meeting?
That is quite possible. He taps his necklace.
Because the thing that worries me is what happened in the castle when the person popped out right behind
you and Abel.
Roger, what's his name? The king.
Oh, yeah, Renly.
Mm-hmm.
Renly popped out right behind and grabbed him from behind. If the lioness can see them coming, I have no doubt that she can take care of herself. It's having her someplace where someone like yourself can literally have her back.
Unfortunately, many of the defenses of the island are keyed to the lioness. In the event of an attack or an assault, she would be the one that would need to activate them. So locking her away somewhere might make the community more unsafe. But I can assure that I will be with her at all times if that would give you comfort, Source. But the Abura are also very well trusted, and they can be with us as well.
I think the two of y'all need to be together.
Okay.
Wherever that is.
Well, Jaren and I will finish up here. If Abel can help, that may mean maybe working through the night tonight would finish the work that needs to be completed. And then we can assure that Alyria and I are together from this point.
And as soon as she is done, will she come here? Have you contacted her?
She did not respond, but I assume that means she's in conversation at the moment.
I think.
I'm trying to see which one of the three of us is the most paranoid.
All of you. All of you.
Yeah, we're all there, but
Yes, I would feel better actually laying eyes on her. I will go to the council meeting and tell her myself the importance of keeping you two together and keeping you two safe.
But try to make sure you're talking just to her. We don't know where this threat's going to come from.
Absolutely.
And I'm sorry to be Vox Populi about it, but a lot of threats can be internal. We should
Absolutely.
be
Which is
questioning
why
everyone.
I'm going to activate my infusion for the Helm of Telepathy.
Ooh.
Just like
Okay.
well played.
Level 10. Level
cool.
10.
So
What does it
cool.
look like?
Yeah, what's your helm of telepathy look like?
I don't know. What does it look like, guys? Someone help me. I've got kind of an
I mean, like, what are you thinking, like an actual like helm, or like, are you thinking like something more like modern,
Or like an arcane helm?
Yeah, I mean, I've got an animal theme going, but I can't think of
You
like
have an animal theme going.
an animal design that will.
cat ears? Cat ear headphones.
Actually, there's a couple of
Did
kind of
Rob
like
know?
the either like the like when they do the bear skin or the eagle thing, where like the
Oh,
I'm
the
thinking
crest?
of the old cartoon where the helmet comes over and it's like the bird beak from the eagle,
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
like
Or the
that.
Davy Crockett raccoon.
But that might upset Little Saurus and
Yeah.
Thistles.
Yeah, right. Of course, that could be a lot to unpack.
It might have said Saurus, Big Saurus.
Then maybe he'll learn his lesson not to steal from me again.
Oh. It's a squirrel skull. It's just like helm of telepathy. So you activate the helm of telepathy, and we'll figure
Yeah,
out what it
now
looks
I'm-
like. Yeah,
Actually, the way it looks on the art is pretty.
we'll just describe that then.
Hold on.
Are you just gonna drop it in the chat?
I was going to, but now it's like,
Oh, it looks cool as heck.
yeah, it looks pretty.
think I've ever looked at the art for the helm of telepathy.
So it's like, okay, so it has,
like an owl.
yeah, it
Yeah.
does. So it has like a
An
mask, and then there's like one of those like glass like kind
Which
of
is very able, yeah.
And then the helm goes back, but the back of it looks like an exposed brain.
It does. That's
Cool.
very able.
Really cool.
Thank you for that description.
I got you. I could tell you didn't want to do it. I got you.
Oh yeah.
As we're talking to Ogwan, hey, Ogwan, I just kind of, I want to apologize because we said we would keep Abel safe, and in our last mission, it didn't quite go that way. So I think as a group, we owe you an apology for that.
Abel, are you okay?
It turned out fine, but he was definitely not safe for a minute there.
I am perfectly fine. I think Judy is taking on a responsibility that is not necessary. It's not a burden that you have to bear, Judy. We look out for each other.
Very important to us, and I have my hand on your arm. I promise
You're
you're
on
dead.
the list. You're on the list.
I promise you're dead, and it's important. So, and I'll tell Ogwan, if I can cast something to help apologize, and I'll cast Gift of Alacrity on him, on Ogwan.
Is that a first level spell?
It is, so you have to roll.
Yes, I do.
That works. Oh, I gotta refresh my spells.
Okay. Roll a D100 for me.
God. Jury, I feel like Jury
You're
doesn't
busted
quite-
magic on my dad.
Hey, I don't know how this works. I got a 69.
Okay, nice.
Nice.
Hey.
Okay, so you cast Gift of Alacrity on Ogon, and then you watch as like boop 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 boop, all of you suddenly go invisible.
Oh,
This may
not bad.
be a benefit.
Ogon is like, that's quite impressive magic, Jury. Did you mean to make us all invisible?
Nope. It was an added benefit. I'm trying to think of this is a positive thing. Positive thing. It is a positive thing.
This may work perfectly.
Yes.
I can keep an eye on my mother while she's in her council meeting.
I don't know how long it's gonna last, so.
Cool.
But the thing I gave you will just make you have more initiative. But this is different.
So he has a D8 to his initiative for the next 8 hours. Cool.
Yes.
All right. So he kind of like rolls his sleeves back up and then stretches for a moment and then goes, well, then I suppose Jaren and I must get to work and try to double down. And Jaren, well, I got a good night's sleep last night. There's no sense in sleeping tonight, I suppose, then. Well, Owen. And he kind of dives back under the panel that he was currently working on. You just see like Jaren's tattooed arms like working heavily on the connections of the machinery there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I know how to create. Yes.
Abel has important things to do.
Actually, you didn't see any of that happen because Jaren's invisible.
Jaren just says it in
Imagine in your mind's eye.
In my mind's eye, I think about it.
Yeah, you just see like tools being picked up and then vanishing because he's now holding them. Yeah.
You know, it might not be a bad idea if we have someone keep an eye on Ogowan as well.
Absolutely.
So why don't Kaimana stay here with Ogowan?
Okay.
You see the metagame I'm
Yes.
doing.
Clever.
Don't even have to point it out.
Well, I guess I can do that, Saurus. And he stays behind. Yes.
Come on, I would appreciate it very, very much.
I give him
There's
some
no one I would
snacks.
trust more to watch my father while I'm away.
There's no one you would trust more?
Uh,
Okay.
Sorry for that fucking comment.
Listen, he's very jealous. He's a jealous little guy, okay?
All right. So they go back to work and you load back into the tram. It takes you back up the mountain to the palace, which anybody watching would see just a tram running with no people in it.
Nice.
I don't know how long this is going to last, guys.
and-
I'm so sorry.
Well, okay. I have to. Yes. Okay. All right. So you disembark from the tram and kind of walk the short distance back towards the palace. Are you all heading to the council chambers, or are you splitting up and heading different directions?
I feel like Abel, you probably should go alone to the council chambers. Yes.
Yes, that is
Yeah.
perfectly fine.
Should I go with the two of you to meet with Bolton and Enzel, or should I go ahead and head to Lowtown?
I would go ahead and head to Lowtown. Jury and I can split Amalia and Ansel, so we can kind of knock this one out.
Sounds great.
Keep this moving.
Soros, can I ask you to do something when you're going that way, though?
Absolutely.
Okay. You see, he he finds where you are.
You don't see any of this.
Oh
Oh God! I just threw everything. I just threw my headphones. You don't see any of this.
Figures out where you are and he hands you something.
Okay.
Okay.
I feel like no one can see what it is, so you feel
What would you like me to do with this?
you deliver this. The address is unfortunately on the letter, so
Wait
But-
for the invisibility to wear off.
it's a letter. Deliver it, please. All right,
shall.
send it off to be delivered. I'm
I
so
shall.
glad you're invisible because I can't regret sending this. Okay, thank you.
Bye.
I shall deliver it myself to make sure it gets there safely.
All right.
Well, you won't be able to deliver it yourself, but deliver it to the mail person.
The male person. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
So, Saurus, you head off towards the tram system that takes you down into the the lower districts of the community. Abel, you head off towards the council chambers. Marlo and Juridan, you head towards Amalia's guest chambers,
That is-
which is
Well,
probably
I
where.
was gonna- really quickly with Jury, I'm like,
Yeah.
do you want to? If we're splitting this, do you?
Well, I think you should take on sell part, right? I mean, that's your area of expertise.
I elbow Jury.
No, I'm just kidding.
Does that count as an attack?
No.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this form of invisibility isn't broken like that.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
Great.
Really?
Yeah, 8 past greater invisibility. Yeah.
shit. Nice.
That's no, that's
No, I
fine.
mean, if
yeah.
you want to see Amalia, you can.
No,
see Amalia.
no, I didn't
really
say
don't.
that. It's just, Amalia's about, rewards and stuff with your mom. That's
Well,
actually
who would
far more
you-
useful.
I mean, whoever you want to see.
No, you go to Amalia, and I'll go talk to Bolton and another person if they should be there.
Oh yeah, the other person over there.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Yep. All right,
Okay.
bye. Do you want me to tell Amalia anything?
I'm sure I'll see her at some point. It's probably
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, I'm sure she'd love to see you. Alright, I'll
Yeah.
go.
And Abel left Anansi back at the with his father and
Okay.
Jaren and Kamana, just as a backup. So if anything happens, he can
Thank you.
send me
At this exact moment in time, Kaimana has picked up Anansi and is like tossing him like a small child into the air.
So cute.
I'm getting a distress signal, but it's make him stop. Make him stop.
See, Abel goes in the mine and just sees the ground.
Yes. All right. So, Abel, I do need you, if you're planning on sneaking into the audience chamber, to make a stealth roll for me with advantage.
With advantage. I can.
Ooh, because you're invisible.
Invisible.
And having no idea how long this invisibility is going to last,
Yeah,
this could be
it's
very
We love
risky.
it. We love it.
We love the risk.
They could just write it off as my youthful ambition sneaking into a council meeting.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's exactly what they'll do. All right. And then, Marlo, you head towards Amalia's chambers, and Jury, you head towards
No, I'm going to Bolton.
Nice.
Bolton. Sorry, you're going to Alora's chambers then. And Jury,
I'm
you're
going
heading
Amalia.
towards Amalia's chambers. All right, cool. So you guys do that really awkward thing where you're like, okay, cool, we're splitting up. Awesome, cool. And then you head the exact same direction.
Nice.
Because
And I'm like-
because they're
I'm
both in
like,
the guest
I should've-
chambers.
I'm like, you think it's too late to find Source and tell him to not send that letter?
Why?
It's probably too late. You're right. You're right.
Oh, no.
Why are you asking?
A natural 20
You
Natural
know,
20. Nice.
Who's the
Just-
letter to?
for 22 stealth.
It's an hour.
Oh.
But I don't know. It's a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely too late.
Source is so fast. I knew if I gave it to him, I'd never get it
Why
back.
not catch up?
And
Yeah.
he's invisible.
And it's for the better.
It's for the
You know
better.
what?
He's just sent.
If you really wanted to send it, you gave it to the right person. So
I did.
I think
if I gave it to come on, I think he would have
pout
ate it.
is that's not real regret. That's just nerves.
Yeah, I think if I gave it to Kaimana, there's a 1 in 25 chance that it would have
He'd
gotten
eat it.
to it. Yeah, I think
That's
he
true.
would eat it.
Yeah.
Eat it.
Honestly,
Is your maximum high level spell slot a 5th level spell slot, Jury?
I believe so.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Let me double check.
All right. So you so you kind of make your ways.
Greater invisibility at your highest level.
No. This is for something else. So Abel, you make your way up the large central staircase to the main platform chamber. There are a burra flanking the entrance to the council, like the sovereign's chambers, and you walk past them very carefully. They don't seem to be aware of your presence as you're moving very stealthily through. And then you make your way into the large audience chamber, which the last time you saw this was in a nightmare in the Feywild, seeing your mother kill your father as in the form of a Rakshasa. And this beautiful large mixture of black and white marble chamber with this tall arching ceiling lined with windows at the top that are all iridescently colored. You can tell that they're probably Zephrysite panels that are capturing the light from the sun and amplifying that light even in this sundown moment where the sun's about to disappear behind the horizon. It's still lit up in here very much like late afternoon. And you can see at the far end of the chamber the tall high-backed chair of the sovereign where she is currently sitting, and then before it the council is standing around in kind of like a raised dais with like an endless stream of water kind of pouring out from this dais into a pool that kind of flushes out around the chamber. you kind of walk up. Difficult to hear what's being said over the sound of the water. An intentional choice in the design element of this space. So you have to get a little bit closer. Are you walking straight there, or are you going to kind of like stick to the edges of the chamber and work around to the back? How do you want to approach this?
Yeah, I'm going to try to stick to the walls and slowly make my way back, observing as I go, kind of investigating my surroundings to see if there's anything odd or out of place.
Okay, go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Happy birthday. A +2. Okay.
I hope it's good perception for that happy birthday song.
Yeah.
Well, I just had a song in my heart.
I like
A natural 20 at 22.
What?
my
No,
God,
that's
it
2
is
back-to-back
Saturday.
natural 20s.
Evil.
It's these magic
Birthday
dice, so you kind of make your way.
Does anyone seem out of place or have like anyone acting kind of odd or?
Yeah, you make a wide berth around the outside of the chamber, like up the side little staircase around a column, and you kind of inch as close as you feel. Like you put a column between you and the council meeting so that in the event that the invisibility fails, you wouldn't immediately just be like, poop, I'm out here in the open. And you start kind of overhearing things. But as you're looking around, like in the chamber right now are the sovereign, the consort, your mother, your father, who's on the council, is not present. And then you see Solovan Musa, the High Vizier of the council as well there. Also one of the Abura is on the council here. And you know enough about Nuevean culture to know that if an Abura is on the council, that this is a war council. This is a discussion of the defense of Nuevea. Interestingly absent from this space is Vicus, who normally attends council meetings. You don't see him present anywhere in this space.
Is Preto Yukuzi there as well?
Preto Yukuzi's not. He's helping your dad as well. Yeah. So this is not a full council meeting, but they are having the conversation. And that tinkling sound of the water kind of drowns out a lot of their conversation until you get much closer and you kind of step into it partway through. And you hear Tayo Asara, the consort to the queen, we've already spent so many resources on Ogoan's plan. He said a week. It has been a week. When are we supposed to see results from the efforts that he's putting forward? And Orisha says, Ogoan works at his pace. You do not want him to go too quickly or too fast. He will activate the abilities when it is ready to go, not before. Would you like to see the island blown off of the face of Alyria because a miscoupling or a misalignment in one of the spells? Then Solovan Musa, the people have noticed odd changes in the patterns of the guard, in the use of Abura in lower level areas. They are drawing attention to the fact that we are in a heightened state of awareness. What message should we be giving to the people about why normally the guardians of the higher levels are walking through the streets of the Lantern District? And the sovereign says, well, I imagine that the Abura can walk wherever they please. You can tell the people that. And this is kind of the conversation that's happening here in this space. And we'll cut back to this in just a moment. As Marlo, you are walking. Eventually, you do split off from Jury as Jury kind of turns down a hallway towards Amalia's chambers as you keep walking towards Alora's chambers. And you are approaching the Alora's chambers, and you see Bolton and Enzel standing guard outside the chamber as they have been hired.
First things first, they talking about anything?
You're invisible, that's right.
Make a perception check with advantage because it is hearing based.
That Marlo chick.
Same roll.
Bolton's like, Jury hasn't messaged me in 4
21.
days. Truly
21.
useless.
So as you walk down the hallway, you start to hear Bolton, and he's just like, and I told you, we got to get some food that's a little more pliable with my palate. There's been a very uncomfortable few days here. They put a lot of spice in the food.
This white man.
and Zell just says, well, I did tell you only to put 1 scoop of the red pepper paste into the last dish. And you said, and I quote Bolton, I'm a man, I can handle more than 1. And as you can see, it has handled you. And so this is the conversation that you were walking up to.
Amazing. Good. So I'm just going to post up next to where Bolton is.
Okay.
I assume he's leaning against the wall, like this motherfucker does.
They're both just leaning against the wall, yeah.
Right.
They're leaners, yeah.
They're leaders.
It's class 1 in risk breakers is how to lean.
Yep, I'm gonna do the same, and then I'm just gonna go, just kind of like turn towards him and go, yeah, they can be really heavy with the spices here, can't they?
The sound of your voice, like you see Bolton move in that speed that of like a well-trained spy. There is a dagger at your throat.
That's fair.
Before
I'm just gonna fucking disarm him and be like, all right, stop, it's me.
He realizes who you are a moment later, and he puts in his like, Jesus Christ. That's not what they would say. Oh gods, Ma. You can't sneak up onto people like that. We are on heightened. Everyone's on a walking around eggshells here.
My fault. I'm invisible. I can't do anything about this.
Is this like a curse? Were you cursed by something?
It could be. I don't know. No, it's Jury's new thing is magic plus. So. Oh. This was the plus.
Magic plus.
Oh, that would explain why I haven't heard from Jury in a while. Bigger fish to fry.
Inside check. Did he want to hear from Jury?
Sure, go ahead.
Inside check to Wingman. Thank you, Mar.
Oh, that's so good. Baby, that's a 26.
There's a hint of disappointment in Bolton's.
All right.
Okay. I don't call him out on it, but
yeah. Anzel is like, well, was your trip to Bogtown successful then, Marno?
Define success.
We
did get to see play. I mean, we met with them. They're, headed here. Like, that's all, well and good.
And you're all alive?
Well, weren't for a second there, but everybody everyone came back who needed to, so, that's fine.
I didn't see a Saurus go down, did I?
No.
So,
thank you, Trippy.
That's good. There was like a whole people-eating monster lurking around the seas that you forgot it as soon as you didn't see it. It was like a whole thing. Yeah. But that's fine. That's old news. And really, the big thing is we met with a Fae that we'd met before when we were in the Feywild. I don't think I mentioned this to you guys. We were in the Feywild, we met a Fae, we made a pact. Long story short, he came back and he was like, hey, Nuevea's in grave, immediate danger. So here we are.
The kind of grave danger that might mean that the princess shouldn't be here, or the kind of grave danger of some other form?
I mean, hard pressed to say. I know it's probably the lioness is, I think, in the most danger. But, Alyria probably... I don't want to make decisions for the group. I don't think Alyria was considered when we had our conversation. I think maybe we all forgot about that for a second.
I think we're all too scared to tell Alyria what to do. So.
Good luck.
I did specifically mention talking to Alyria as well as Bolton and Enzel.
Yeah.
We should probably run it by her what she wants to do. We have like a fail-safe with Ogon in his lab going on, that whole thing. It's but so I'm telling you there's danger and it's bad, but I can't tell you what or when. How do you like that?
The door opens.
Cool.
Well, Malo?
Alyria.
Alyria.
Sorry, it's a whole. I don't. At some point, it's got to stop, right?
Well, if Nuevea is in danger, then this is my home. I will stay to fight.
Great.
But I appreciate you all considering me on that.
Yeah,
that
I mean, I'm
That's
not going to
good.
fucking tell you what to do.
That's fair.
So, yeah. So, have you guys? I mean, you've been around here for a minute. Have you noticed anything weird? Anything off?
Did Abel tell Alyria? Am I dreaming that happened?
I did tell Alyria that I'm concerned about Vicus.
But not specifics. Okay.
But
I had a dream that in one of Abel's rare moments of like, not rare, absolute 100% always moments of honesty, that you just walked up on Alyria and was like, by the way, Vicus is a Rakshasa.
I was concerned related to the fact that we knew that he's always, been
Yeah.
a sickly child. And I was afraid that sickness would cause her and others to be in danger.
Yeah.
And I wanted her to be careful around him.
Okay.
And to try to keep guard near her when he's around.
So she says, she just tells you, Mar, I haven't really been able to keep too much of an eye on Vicus. He has been in his room, in bed, apparently quite ill for the last 2 or 3 days.
Oh no! Poor Vicus. Whatever could be wrong. Roll a deception check on
Yeah,
that one.
please.
Right.
Actually, go ahead. Oh, no, it doesn't matter. Alyria rolled a natural 20, so your deception, you will have to roll, let's see what her...
I have to roll a natural 20.
I don't think,
No,
what's
I can't
your...
even beat it. I'm sure my deception's +0.
Oh, yeah, she has high insight,
Yeah.
So she just kind of says, Marlo, I get quite the feeling that Abel told you something that he did not tell me.
I can't. If I tell you, I think Abel's gonna kill me.
He's so small.
You'd be surprised how much damage that man can do with words. So
He's lean, but in shape. He's like beef jerky. All right, so,
it's
okay.
It's like a really big thing. And I just can't. I can't.
Well,
You should ask him.
was it Abel who went down? Was it Abel who went down?
Oh, I mean, he got kidnapped by the monster, and we all forgot he existed, but we wrote his name down, so we were like, well, we know someone used to be...
She starts casting a spell as you're talking. Oh, no, go on. It's fine.
Okay, and then, so, I'm sorry, I'm distracted by you doing that. So he was unconscious, but he didn't get eaten, and he didn't die. He didn't do a whole fight. He actually was pretty good on that one. It was Source. Source bit the dust there for a second.
But he's all right.
Yes, everybody's all right.
She releases the spell and you see her eyes turn white. Abel, in your head, you hear, how dare you, motherfucker, not tell me that you are in danger. I have been worried sick about you this entire time. Next time I see you, I will get my revenge. And then that...
Can I respond to
Yeah, you can respond to this message.
Okay. Well, when you are having covert meetings with pirates, you don't tend to send messages back and forth to your parents.
All right. Aloria's eyes return back to the normal state. Well, all the more reason to arm up and be prepared, I suppose.
Yes, for sure.
Good. I've been working on a few things. Yes. And she kind of looks at Anzel and Bolton. We'll be safe. You don't need to worry about us.
Sick. Yeah.
And Anzel kind of looks at you and says,
No, she doesn't.
sorry, looks in the direction of the voice that you've been living and just says, in the event that things go south, I have a way to get the princess to a location of safety. Whether she wants to go or not. And Laura says, I'd like to see you try, Anzel. We'll find out.
I don't want to get in the middle of that. You guys work that out between yourselves. And I'm going to go keep in touch. If you need me, just ring D Magic, what to do.
Of course. If you need me, come. I'll call. I've got a diamond saved for one of you. And she kind of goes back, and it's like she's very much in the way that like when you first saw Ogon and Jaren, like shirt sleeves rolled up, like was not dressed in like she was dressed in work clothes. She has done something to this room that has turned it into a forge or something, and she has been hard at work for the last week. Yeah. Yes. And so she goes back and closes the door. Yeah, no, not yet. Okay, cool. All right. Similarly, at the same time, Jordan, you arrive outside Amalia's door. No guards posted here, but you knock. And a moment later, the door opens.
Hi, it's Jordan.
I could smell you.
You could smell me?
Well,
Bad smell?
No, sorry. You've been around Marlowe enough to know that heightened senses.
Oh, I smell like Mar? Oh, no. I just smell like me. You can tell it's me.
Yes, this is an awkward conversation with an invisible person.
That's true. That's right. I am invisible right now.
Why are you sneaking around the palace, Jordan?
Not sneaking. Can I talk to you about a thing that's been happening with me on a family level?
She like opens the door wide and is like, come on in. Like,
hey, so
she closes the door.
Crazy thing. My mom was a fae. A fae? Did you know about Dad having any kind of dealings with fae? How would he get in contact with a fae, even? Why would a fae even like my dad? He sucks. No offense.
That's a lot to process.
It's been a lot to process over the past few days. I'm going to sit on this chair. And
just like a denture in the chair. Well, no, I did not know. As I said, I never had a chance to meet Wisteria. I was already off with the Rangers when Warren brought Wisteria home for the first time, and I was, at that point, the black sheep of the family. Sure. No. I mean, I did always find it odd that some street busker basically had won the heart of one of the heirs of the patrician family. But I thought it was just Warren's... He was never rebellious as a child, so I thought it was, he finally got his rebellious streak out in her. But the family seemed to love her.
Yeah, I don't know. Apparently she's a fae. I don't even know anything about that. And I'm part fae something, fae magic-y. And now my magic's all borked, so this happened. I was casting something else, and then this happened.
Huh. Well, that would explain the change of aura around you.
Yeah. But, Warren never, said anything about, fake creatures or had interest or anything?
Like I said, no. I was not around so much at that point of his life. Now, as a child, he was very much interested in fairy tales.
Surprised me. Never told me anything.
Well, no, I imagine.
Obviously, now.
How did you just find out about this? Why was it not something that you've always known?
I'll tell her about meeting Mom. She unlocked a thing on me, and then Robin Goodfellow showed up and said she was a fae and this and that. So I'll fill her in on all of that happening. I'm kind of info dumping. I'm like eating
That's
some
fine.
cookies I have or something.
She's been baking, so there's just cookies everywhere.
There's cookies everywhere. Incredible. I'm going to take my flask and drink a little and eat cookies.
Yeah. She kind of, when you mention Robin Goodfellow and the portal issue and wanting to close off, that she kind of sits down. If the Feywild is trying to close itself off to us, in many ways, that's a sign of something very dangerous. The Feywild needs us as much as we need them. We are sisters in many ways, our plane of existence and theirs. If they were to cut off from our plane, some of that order that bleeds into the Feywild and prevents it from going completely off the chain. That's not what Amalia would say. Out of whack would cease, and that chaotic energy would just rebound and redouble. So to seal off the Feywild would be a last-ditch effort on the part of the Queen.
I mean, if they're tasking like us with it too, I mean,
she's terrible.
Pretty desperate.
I've never seen the Queen of Sun terrified in that way, or have heard of that kind of terror in about 200 years.
It's bad. There's bad stuff about to happen.
But Jordan, if the Feywild closes off, the mitigating factor that keeps the Shadowfell at bay is weakened. The Fey and the Shadowfell are like two polar opposites that cancel each other out, and they cancel themselves out on our plane of existence. If the energies from the Feywild are not rushing into our world, then that only leaves the Shadowfell.
So the portal needs to stay open.
It's difficult.
It's difficult.
Titania clearly sees that there might be a problem. She is wise. I've never interacted with her personally, but I've read enough about the Fae to know that she sees things that we do not see. She would not do this lightly. Sacrificing the material plane, allowing the Shadowfell to take over the material plane would weaken the Fae even more.
They're scared of something even worse than that.
Yes. The Queen of Air and Darkness must be showing her hand as well.
I don't know what that means. I don't know anything about Fae culture, but sure.
You didn't learn all these things when you were a child.
No, I was homeschooled and very kept in the dark about it, obviously, now.
Marlo knows all of this, backwards and forwards. Fae understanding is something that the Order teaches very carefully. The balance between the Veil and the Fae must be maintained. If you close off that portal, it strengthens the Fae but weakens us.
It's to save their own skin.
Yes.
I don't want that.
But you also don't want to make an enemy of Queen Titania.
Well, I don't care about her personally. I mean, sure, she's a whatever Fae queen, but that's a whole part of my life I just learned about, and if she makes an enemy of me and I have to take that burden to make it easier on other people, then I'll do that.
I wonder if a temporary closure would not be as damaging.
Like a deal. Like a bargain. Like what they work in.
Yes.
Okay. That could work, right?
Everything is bargains to them.
Right. Right. We could use that. Okay. All right. I'll think about that.
As you're saying that. Oh, there you are.
Oh.
I can see you.
Hey. And Jerry looks different too.
Yeah. Oh,
this is what I look like now. It's like a reveal.
Some beautiful changes.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, they're pretty nice.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you would like to ask Amalia?
I just want to ask if she'd give me a big hug.
She does. Now that she can see you, she goes in for a big mama bear hug. And
my ex-boyfriend broke out of jail. Not a boyfriend, technically. There's so much going on right now in my life.
Okay, eat a cookie, please.
Yes, they're so good.
And she kind of sits you down with cookies, and you all can have that conversation.
Yeah, we're just chatting.
Yep, Saurus, you make your way down along the trams to the Lantern District, and you disembark. What would you like to do here?
I use the hat of disguise to make a disguise that looks like me. But since it's an illusion, it will actually be seen.
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That is true.
Oh, yeah, that's
true. Yeah. So you are still invisible, but the invisible part of you is now like masked by a Saurus mask.
Oh my god.
All right. So you kind of disembark from the tram and you start kind of making your way through the Lantern District. And you're trying to use your ear to the ground ability to...
I am using ear to the ground. I'm also using some new skills that I picked up to look for markings or something like that.
Go ahead and make a perception check with advantage, because you are taking advantage of your ear to the ground. As you start to go down like weird back alleys in the Lantern District, and like places where there's not as much light and where shady figures are standing around outside warehouses and buildings.
Yeah, I'm also looking for beggars.
Okay.
Beggars tend to work for the thief kings.
Yes.
What skill am I using?
This is perception.
That's a 21.
21. So it doesn't take you long as you're kind of walking around. You like make your way down this dark alley, and there's like a corner, like basically like a corner fa space, and there's like steam and smoke pouring out of it. And you kind of follow your nose down this space, and you hit another dark alley, and you turn left, and you find yourself in this kind of like mazy back alley spaces, and you look up at the wall, and you just see written in like illusory script a phrase that to a random passerby wouldn't make any sense, but to you it reads rogue's territory. And so you kind of make your way down there, and you take a right where it's pointing, and you keep following, and you see these markers now, and you see like you've encountered rogues before, and you grew up in the Rift, so where there were rogues, and you start seeing their symbolism kind of scattered around in spaces. And as you're walking down the alley, there's a step behind you and a step in front of you as two kind of cloaked figures kind of bar your passage.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I feel like you've lost your way.
No, I think I've just found my way. I'm looking to hire some skills.
The one behind you kind of says, and what kind of skills might those be that you can't hire somewhere else?
I need someone I need rumor mongers, people who can spread word about something, who are unobtrusive, who don't get noticed.
Well, if you know our reputation, we don't peddle in dangerous lies. If it's something that would be a benefit to the people of this district, then we're happy to oblige for the right coin.
I think we should have that conversation with someone who can make that decision.
Where are you from?
The Rift.
He kind of looks over your shoulder at the one behind you. Do you know what happened to the Rift?
Do I know what happened to the Rift?
You do. You know that the Rift was that like they had moved into the Rift and cleaned it out.
Yes, I lived there for 2 years and was there recently, right before the unpleasantness. Although I was more... The people I was with were friends more with Vox Populi. I'm from the Monastery of the Four Winds.
Interesting. Make a persuasion check with advantage.
This is one of the situations where I'm like, does name dropping jury help or hurt your cause? Probably hurt.
You don't,
24.
24. You don't know Jurid, and beyond the fact you're not there. But the fact that the Vox Populi have gone with the rogues and are like bunkered down with the rogues at their estate, like that relationship is still clearly a good relationship. So he goes, well, then, Rift Walker, right this way then. And he kind of turns and leads you down like switchbacks and pathways and walking different ways. And you can make a perception check to not lose your direction here, because he's purposely walking you through this maze in a direction where it would be difficult for you to find your way back or out.
28.
28. So as much as he tries, you don't lose. Like
I grew up in the Rift.
You grew up in like this space, yeah. And eventually, like you get to a space like a nondescript, like wooden plank door, a flickering lantern over it. There is the symbol of the rogues, kind of like loosely painted up in the right hand corner, and then they just kind of like knock a code, and then there's a return knock from the outside. And then the door clicks open and he pushes it open. After you, friend.
I walk in.
You walk in, and then there's a blade at your throat the moment you walk in, as there's another man inside. Move slowly, friend.
Absolutely.
And he guides you further and deeper in.
I will point out that I'm completely unarmed.
They quickly kind of pat you down and search.
Forrest doesn't even wear a dagger. He is all because these are his arms.
Use your gun though?
Where's the gun?
Oh that's actually a good point. I would check it with them.
He pats you down and he kind of removes that from your holster. This is a Phileas's make, I believe, isn't it?
Yes, he also did some improvements to it after he originally gave it to me.
Interesting. He kind of like hands it off to somebody behind him. And then he leads you deeper into this kind of smoky chamber. Several like cloak and dagger types are on the outside. And then you walk through a door and it is a completely different space. Like this is like pastel colored walls. Like there's bright lights in here. They're like dancing kind of like dancing mage lights and things. There is like the smell of lavender and other kind of floweries here. There's fresh flowers in all these spaces around. And behind a desk, you see this short halfling woman, young, like auburn color hair, freckles. And she like looks up. I have told them that if friends approach, we don't have to do all this again. Boys, back away. You cleared him for entrance. Clearly he's safe. Does he have a weapon? Is he going to kill me? And one of them's like, no, madam. And he's like, all right, it is fine.
In their defense, I have been underestimated before. That's not why I'm here, nor do I have any ill intent. I actually want to hire you, but I can understand their desire for caution.
Make a wisdom saving throw for me, please.
Wisdom saving throw. That's a 12.
Suddenly, like over your entire persona, like this person is like, she's your oldest friend. Like, you would never do anything to harm or hurt her. You would have an open conversation with her. And she kind of leans back and she goes, I don't need their protection, is what I'm saying.
I used my ability to break.
Yes. Charms. Yep.
And also from the last deck of card things, I have automatically passed any insight check.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So just assume that I am insight checking.
She's not doing this to you to like show animosity to you. She's also kind of flexing for the boys who feel like she needs constant like surveillance and protection. That she's like, I've got this. And she goes, That was quick. It normally takes people a little bit longer to break out of the spell. How did you do that?
4 winds training.
The monastery. I haven't been to Hightower in so long. Tea, would you like some?
That would be excellent. Thank
She summons over. You see these 2 teacups float in from nowhere and kind of sit down, and then she summons a teapot over, and it pours out, and you just smell this beautiful chamomile mint tea. Do you take honey or sugar or cream?
I actually prefer to drink it straight to fully appreciate all the herbs.
I like all the sweet things, and so she's dumping in cubes and honey, and she's then she
Just
passes.
don't do lemon with milk. Don't do lemon with milk.
She passes yours to you, and then she kind of tinks the glass. Tea on first meetings, always appropriate. I'm Malada. I'm the chief sorceress of the rogues here in Nuevea.
Nice to meet you.
What can I do for you?
Ticket takers.
Oh, interesting. The ticket takers. Reg, do we know anything about the ticket takers? Yes. No, get me everything that we know. No, now. Thank you. And then she comes back from the message that she had just cast to one of the men. Yes, so you are from the Rift. You are a rat. That is interesting. I am intrigued why you are sitting at my table.
The ticket takers are the official Adventurers Guild of Anavir. We have somehow managed to succeed our way upwards, and are now involved in some high political things going on. For example, if you may have heard about the castle and dragon.
As you're talking, a man walks in with a bundle, a stack of papers, and hands it to her, and she says, I am still paying attention to you. I deeply apologize. I'm going to read while you're talking. I can divert my attention in both places. Keep going. It's an interesting story. And she's scanning the paper that he's put there. Yep.
I mentioned the recent unpleasantness where the castle got blown up and then assaulted by a dragon during the king's birthday celebration. We were there. We helped defend. We have now made our way to Nuevea. Mm-hmm. There are concerns we have about Prince Vicus. But going through official channels might result in unpleasantness or disbelief. So
I will pause you for just a moment. You know who we are, correct?
Yes.
Do you know that we partner with organizations like Vox Populi, correct?
Yes.
If you're going to give me information that could, I don't know, potentially damage the crown of Nuevea, just know, at the right time, that I may use that against them.
Absolutely.
Good, then you may continue. This is quite an interesting story. Very good reading. I hear, according to this, that there's a man at the Monastery of the Third Eye who is writing your story. I cannot wait to read it.
That's right.
So what is this information that you would like us to, as you say, whispermonger around Nuevea?
One of the things that happened with the unpleasantness was that a Slod was involved, a shape changer. Since that night when things happened, Vicus hasn't been acting normally. We're concerned that something may have happened. It may not. It could also just be traumatic stress from being in a place where things get blowed up and demons show up.
He has been more sick than usual as of late.
Right, but there is concern that he may have gotten switched.
So you think that the current crown prince of the sovereign is not who he says he is?
We don't know.
But
We
you would
think it
like
should be-
that suggestion to be made to the people.
Right, because we think that the crown should check that out and verify. But if you were the queen of Nuevea and someone came in and suggested your son needed to be tested under a zone of truth and things.
Oh, I'm reading that didn't go very well in Alyria, so I imagine it wouldn't go well here either.
Exactly. So I figured word of the people spreading rumors that in an effort to calm the populace and show them that then she might take that action.
So you would like us, let me see if I get all of this straight. Interestingly, that you work so closely with Vox Populi. Are you sure you're not trying to destabilize the Sovereign?
One of our associates is Abel Abuye.
Yeah, I see this, yes.
I have spent some time with his father,
Hey.
Owen. I have met
You're
his
not
mother.
muted, Ronnie. There you go. Okay.
They seem to be forthright, decent people in spite of their levels of power. I don't want to destabilize them, but I don't want what almost happened in Anavir, where the king was replaced by someone who was corrupt with ulterior motives and tried to start a war with Nuevea. So, this case, if he truly is just stressed from the adventure, he's sick, he's tested, he passes, that's fine. And everyone knows it, and everything is fine. If it turns out something bad has happened, it gets discovered before any major machinations or plans could take place.
Or if it just gets discovered later, it does not look like it was the Sovereign's fault.
I hadn't thought about it that way, but that might be a logical conclusion.
Interesting. We have found no reason yet to work against the crown of Nuevea, so we have no intention of destabilizing them. They seem to be, as you say, good people with the best intentions of their subjects and heart. They don't treat outsiders very kindly, but other than that, mostly a good nation.
I don't see this as destabilizing.
So I think crafting such a message as, isn't it odd how the prince has been so sickly as of late, and uncharacteristically so, might lean into your needs?
Absolutely.
Well,
You have more expertise in these sort of things than I, which is one of the reasons we came to you.
good.
This is also your home territory. You know the people. You know what will be most effective.
Well, we are happy to help you spread that message. As you leave this space, you will pass 10 beggars. Drop a platinum in each of their pans, and they will spread the message for you quick and fast.
Thank you. Is there anything else I can do for you?
No, but I do appreciate you asking. How kind. Would you like a tea biscuit?
Yes, please.
She hands over a tray of tea biscuits.
I'm not sure how much your information says about me.
Enough? What would you like for it to say?
That's not what I would like for it to say, but I had a recent, I was about to say near-death experience, but it was a death experience. And when I came back, it's awoken a few memories, which is how I was able to read the signs to come here. So,
Interesting.
yes.
I think that I may have here more information about your origins than you perhaps have. Did Phileas ever give you his notes from the lab?
No.
Do you want them?
Yes, very much so. But it may... Are these Phileas's notes or someone else's?
Yeah, because you know Phileas was working, not by choice, for Ahriman in his lab.
Because if those are someone else's based on what Phileas has said, then I will take them. If they are actual copies of Phileas' notes,
no.
I will ask Phileas for them himself.
No, these are, I'm sure Phileas keeps track of his own notes as well, but our workers within the Rift, when Phileas first arrived after being rescued by you, he was very closely watched for a time. And they managed to get copies of many of his work at his own behest, not subterfuge.
In that case, I would like them.
Good. She removes one of the papers and slides it across to you.
And what would be an appropriate thank you for this information?
You owe the rogues a debt.
And I say agreed, and thieves can't.
New at it, are you? Well,
very much so. But
and so she says, Reg, draw it up and send it on. And she says, well, you'll know when we come calling then. But anything else that I can do for you on your journey today?
no.
They thought about
Thank
killing you when you approached. I'm glad that they didn't. You're quite an interesting person to meet.
If you've read about the ticket takers, then you've seen the multiple times each and every one of us has been underestimated. It would have been an error on their part.
But then you would have had to face off against me, and what fun would that have been?
I know. The conversation has been better, though, I think.
I think so. Well,
I'm sure you're a busy woman, so I shall take up no more of your time.
I do have a question for you. You seem to be under the inclination that there's something wrong happening here.
There is something wrong happening across the entire world.
Well, of course. But here specifically, if, I don't know, the rogues were in danger, should we stay or should we go?
I think you should stay.
We like a good fight. Well,
And while I don't know specifically what may or may not happen, the fact that in Alyria they were playing games at the level of kings and trying to do a fake war, and knowing people like Aroman, they always have multiple plans in play at one time. So,
yes.
although I don't know specifically anything that he may have planned for Nuevea, I'm not going to bet my life that that's not happening.
Well, as a parting gift for the greatness of this conversation, and for being so kind about my tea and biscuits, there are chess pieces everywhere. Even at the height of Nuevea.
I would expect no less.
Yes. Well, again, 1 platinum for each of the 10 beggars. They are brothers, every single one, and they will know that if you skimp on any of them, they will take offense.
Oh, no. No, I would... You're professionals. I respect that.
Good. If you ever make it to the desert, seek out my sister.
And so I shall.
Well, and she kind of...
Any message you would like me to deliver from one sister to another, if that happens?
Your presence would be enough.
And I nod and make my gracious exit.
Okay. Right. So
And I pay the people.
yes. As you're making your way back out, Reg, at the front, who was the guy who held a dagger to your throat when you entered into this space, he kind of walks you back through the maze, and you pass by 10 men just kind of sitting there looking like beggars on the street, and you drop a platinum in each of their cups.
Yep.
All right. Good. Abel.
Oh,
Back at the throne room, the conversation is continued, and you're still just overhearing general plans and discussions about the how they should handle the troop movements, how they should handle the placements of guards in certain vicinities. But then finally, there's a conversation that pops up where it's Orisha. Has there been movement from the Cloud City ever late? Our eyes in the air keep getting knocked out of the sky. And the Sovereign kind of looks to the Abura for a moment. Unfortunately, no. Any airship that gets close to that space has ceased communication with the mainland. We've had one vessel on by water that was safely transported beneath the space and was able to see what was happening, but it just seems to be storming there. No other movement outside of that. So do you think that he intends to take the skies from us then? Perhaps. But any ship approaching meets its doom.
I want to cast Detect Thoughts. I'm going to hide myself behind a column.
Okay.
And focusing my mind, cast Detect Thoughts
On
my mom.
Okay. Are you diving deep, or are you just looking for surface
Just
thoughts?
the surface thoughts. Now they're talking about who's this person that they're talking about as far as just surface thoughts right now.
Okay. You start to get the surface level thoughts. And even though your mom's talking about what's happening with the Cloud City or whatever, the thoughts that are running through her head are a series of arcane sigils. Like she is like running through a magic spell in her head. And it is like you can see the words. They're draconic in nature. And she's running through a spell in her head, and then she gets to the end, and she stops, and she returns and goes back to it, and you hear her, like, you kind of get the sense that like she's rewriting or writing a spell in her mind right now, like instead of being fully paying attention to what's happening at the council meeting.
Do I recognize the spell of the sigils?
You recognize some of them. There are sigils here that you know that are connected to protection and abjuration. There are a few that you don't quite understand. Like, what's the connection between like a levitation and a abjuration, and like she seems to be combining and reworking different forms of magic in her brain in a way that's very complex, and it's taking all of her or most of her thinking process while she's doing this.
Okay. Bonus action. I want to move the Detect Thoughts to the person asking her the question.
So you move it to Tayo?
Whoever was asking her about the Cloud City, yes.
Oh, okay. So Tayo Asara, you go to his thoughts, and all you kind of hear from his thoughts are, she never comes out with the full truth, does she?
Mm-hmm. If I dive deeper, he will know that I am
Well, you'd have to make a saving throw. Mm-hmm.
listening. Yeah, and it says either way they know that you're listening.
Oh, yeah. So that would reveal your...
Okay. Does it have like a tinge of like animosity or more just like
Make an insight
annoyance?
check. Yeah.
I'm not too... Oh. Real dice. No more digital dice. All right. Plus 7 plus what? 13. 7 plus 6.
It seems more frustration than animosity, but he is a politician, so he could be... But even in his brain, like, he probably wouldn't hide that very much, but it feels more like frustration than animosity.
All right. I want to bonus action kind of around the room, shift my Detect Thoughts to who's next.
So next would be the Abora captain. Solah, Solah, and you get you go into her mind, and she's thinking 3 gods on the Sovereign, 3 gods on the Lioness, 3 gods on Ogoan. Is that enough? Is that ever enough?
Okay.
You move to the next, which is Solovan Musa, the High Vizier. And this is where you hear a little bit of animosity. She's so comfortable on that space, isn't she?
Sorry, taking notes. And that was the Vizier?
Yeah.
Okay. Who else is left?
There are a Buddha around the room.
Is the Sovereign?
The Sovereign would be... Okay, so you can move to the Sovereign. And let me just check.
Leave no stone unturned.
I don't think that her necklace prevents this. Nope. So you move to the Sovereign, and you get thrown out of her mind.
It has to be my mother's doing. She definitely would have protected her sister. Or she's an intelligent woman. She's probably made her own contingencies. Okay. I will just sit quietly and listen for the...
As you're sitting there, you look down and you realize you can see your hand.
Okay. Am I well hidden enough behind the column to where they can't see me?
For right now you are, but the upper level of the throne room, there's a walkway, and you can hear the walking of patrolling guards moving in this direction. They will be able to spot you soon.
I will cast invisibility on myself.
Okay. So you quietly cast the spell again, and you go invisible.
Let me mark it. Okay. How long does invisibility last?
An hour?
1 hour.
Yeah.
As long as you don't take any actions. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Get out. Get out.
No. Oh, spell. No. Okay.
I'm obsessed with the April stealth mission.
It's so good. We're all kind of on a little stealth mission, except
I know
Yes.
okay, I'm gonna listen for a little bit
Okay.
and see how much more of the council. If it's gonna go longer than my hour, I'm gonna try to stealth my way out at least to the front door to where none of the guards can see me.
Okay.
So I can run into my mother and escort her back to.
All right. Over the course of the next 30 minutes, you hear conversations about emergency evacuation orders, how long would it take to pull the people back from the fields to the city so that they can be under protection if there was an attack. You do hear a report that they do discuss briefly what's going on in Alyria, that currently with Thornton Braid, the Prince, and Lunaria Mistweaver absent from the space, that Kratos Hawk has fully established himself as the crown protectorate of the city of Alyria, but they are currently dealing with food shortages and water shortages because of some mystical energies pouring out of a pyramid that appeared in the space of the palace.
how that got there.
Yeah.
Every time we've heard about this.
But they think that any march to war has probably been halted because the main drivers of that march have shown their true cards and are, have aligned themselves with Ahriman. So there is kind of like that element of like, we don't have to worry about this side of things. The last thing you probably hear before your hour, like before you feel like you need to sneak away so you're out safely, is they're talking about Blighthold. And they said that because Kratos Hawk is at in Anorvir, that the current leadership of Blighthold is mostly untested, and that the bastion there has been under assault 3 days in the last week, with Veil assaults from the outside, and that there is a fear that there is some kind of incursion that's taking place at that point, but that the tower still holds and the Veil still stands where it is. And then make a stealth check with advantage as you make your way out of the throne room.
Sure thing. A 17 and... 17 again, okay.
Okay. All right. So as you...
It'll be a 20 plus 2, 17 plus 2.
17, so it's a 19?
Mm-hmm.
That's very good. Because the Abuda rolled a 14 with a +4. Yeah.
1 point above.
So you make your way back out, like down and around the outside. You go back through the main entrance to the throne room, and kind of down around in an alcove and around a corner away from out of sight. And then the invisibility fades, and you are there. To wait for your mother's return.
Yeah.
All right, Marlo, what are you doing after your Anzel, Bolton, Allura?
Okay. So,
Bring Alyria back.
I heard that Vicus hasn't been seen in a couple of days, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to move down the halls and see if I can like maybe I could have asked, like maybe we can wreck on that I like asked where's Vicus'
Sure, yeah.
place at, you know?
Yeah, Allura tells you where the crown prince's quarters are. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I want to stroll past there. I'm sure it's guarded, but I would just like to see.
Okay, so you start making your way into kind of the second level of the palace.
Mm-hmm.
Around the time you get up to the second level, your invisibility fades. And you are making your way. Are you trying to...
I don't want to like walk right in front of it. I just kind of want to get eyes on the area.
Are you stealthily moving, or are you just like, I'm just strolling?
Gosh, of course I'm stealthing.
Okay, go ahead and make a stealth check for me.
Okay.
At this point, I'm remembering Mar going to the breaking into the room and setting off the device.
Yeah.
With what's his name?
Oh yes.
Why do you make it sound like that was a failure on my part?
No.
That
And then I also think about the time you and Jury broke into the thing.
Oh,
It's
that
like,
one was great.
it's like
Broken that guy's house.
this is Mar in their natural element.
If you give me a rich person's abode, a castle, a mansion, or whatever, I'm gonna stealth around and find shit.
Yeah.
It's true.
So yeah, I got a 26.
26. Okay. Yeah. The 20 that the Abura rolled is just not useful. So you make your way stealthily, kind of like moving from dark space to dark space, column to column, hiding in spaces, ducking into closets and doorways when you see patrolling guards, and you make your way kind of up through the second level to a back like service stairwell entrance that goes up to the third level of the palace, which is where the prince's quarters are. And you kind of are glancing down this long hallway, and there's a large like double wood door at the end, to a Buddha posted on the outside looking down the hallway your direction. But you know that is Vicus's chamber.
Okay. Talk to me about this building layout. So, like, I've seen the outside of the castle, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Windows?
Yeah, there would be windows on the outside. Where you currently are, this would be the back side of the palace, which you haven't seen the back side, but it does, it like overlooks like the cliff face that juts down in. So all of the royal chambers are on the back side, so that like scaling from the bottom up would be really difficult to get to that space. But you could,
But not impossible.
but not impossible. And you could potentially go out a window on the third floor and go down.
I would love to do that.
Okay.
I would love to scale down.
Okay, cool. So you kind of take a right out of the hallway, and you find a small like a window in the hallway. It is locked, so you'll need to pick the lock.
Okay, I will pick the lock. What the fuck is the lock picking thing again? What do I roll?
Well, if you're proficient in sleight of hand, it's your sleight of hand, but otherwise it's dexterity and proficiency.
Okay. I don't know why my first impulse was to ask if Pistol can help me. Of course he cannot. Of course he fucking cannot.
He can do his best, but he will not give you advantage.
He is helping.
Yeah.
I don't get
He's
me wrong.
emotionally supportive.
Yeah. He's there. He's supportive.
I don't know why that was my impulse, my lord. I guess I just heard Abel say so much about can a Nazi help me.
Yeah.
Okay, so plus 5 plus 19.
19. Okay. So you kind of carefully use your thieves tools and you kind of get into the locking mechanism that's keeping the window locked in place, and you hear it click as it releases, and then the window can kind of swings
I'm sorry,
outwards.
that was an 18. Does that change
Nope,
that?
it doesn't. It was a 17 was your thing.
Just wanted to be honest.
So you swing out the thing, and you kind of look out, and you see it is a dizzying 1,000-foot drop or so to where this cliff face drops down before it starts kind of sloping out towards the ocean, and you just see the distant waves crashing beneath the cliff face here below. And as you're kind of looking out, there is the smallest ledge that kind of lines this space going around the third level, of where like the joining compounds of the palace kind of jut out slightly here. You were talking like 2 inches of clearance space here for you to definitely move across. Yeah.
So I want to make sure I close the window behind me. I know I can't lock it,
Nope.
but I don't want anyone to see an open window.
Okay. So you get out onto the ledge and close the window behind you. There's another ledge about 5.5 feet up, so you have something to grab onto, and you can shimmy carefully along it.
Yes, I would like to do that.
Okay.
I would like to check, kind of like wait up here for a second to see like if the guards like patrol down, like if they could look up and see me.
Okay. From where you are right here, there's no like courtyard or anything below, but there is like off to the left-hand side is just the edge of one of the outer courtyards of the palace. And you can kind of see that there's a walkway around the second level of the courtyard, and there are patrolling guards. They're not a Buddha, they're just standard guards.
Okay. So
And
I
you
wanna
recognize
make
that as
sure-
that's the pathway that you come when you're coming from the aerodrome or when you're coming from the private tram.
Whoa.
So that's that kind of space. Yeah.
I want to make sure that like I get a sense of like their patrol time, so I can do this carefully but quickly between like when people would
Okay.
be around.
Make a perception check and then also make an acrobatics check for me, or an athletics check for me, please. Yeah.
Athletics.
Yeah. You were holding on by your fingers. So
On the plus side, they probably don't expect anyone to be willing
right
to
up on the
try
wall.
this.
Yeah.
Right.
So-
Yeah. No. Of course, no one would fucking try that. Okay, so a perception check
Yes.
is 17.
Okay. So in addition to being able to pick up on the pattern of the guards in the courtyard, you also hear the pattern of guards in the chamber. And you can tell that, like, in addition to those 2 guards that are posted outside, that there is a patrolling guard who's moving around into different rooms in this vicinity and just keeping a check on rooms.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Of course.
And you can even kind of see like there's another window like 3 or 4 feet down from you, and then there's another window 3 or 4 feet down from that one, and you every now and then see a shadow from inside walk past that window.
Whoa, cool. Sorry, I'm checking my inventory really quick. I was hoping I have something, and I don't think I have something. How far away is where I'm trying to be at?
So
Like, can I see it?
So if you were think about it as like you were looking down the hallway this way, okay?
Right.
He was at his room was at the far end of the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
You are now on like the outer side of the hallway. So you'd be walking down the outside of that hallway along the wall. So you would need to get down to the end of the hallway to find where his chambers are.
Okay.
So it's probably like
just a straight scale.
Yeah, it's like 40 feet or 50 feet or so. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well,
You got this.
okay. Nah, fuck it. I'm not gonna do anything smart about this. Of like trying to like do like a rope and like back up. Fuck that. I'm just gonna go. Why would we be smart about this? It's already idiotic. All right, cool. Just athletics.
Athletics. Your ability to hang on to this 2-inch thing.
I'm
Yep.
just making sure
Yep.
you knew.
Yep.
The 15.
Okay. So for the first bit of your travel, you are definitely kind of shimming along using the handholds at the top and the very careful foothold that you have here to move across. You get to the first window. Your choices are to just pass in front of the window. Or you can try to like get beneath the window, which will require you to release your hands and use the window ledge. So there'll be a moment where you have no grip.
Sure.
Okay. So go ahead and make another athletics check for me as you are shifting to lower yourself beneath the window.
Really playing with God here.
I mean, you are scaling alongside.
You better help me now. That's another 15.
Okay,
baby.
yeah. So
I need everyone to know it's not a -3 anymore, baby. It's a -2.
it is a -2. It's up on, yeah. Yeah. All right.
I will point out that we all have inspiration that we have never ever used.
You do
in
have
this
inspiration.
campaign.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to use it now, but that's good to remember.
No, like I said, it's if you roll on that one.
Yep. All right. So you kind of
rolling out one, I end up with a -1.
you dip down and you move slowly across the window. There's a moment where the shadow is approaching this room as the patrol comes through, and you stop and you let it pass, and then you keep moving, and then you reach up and you stretch out and you grab the window again and you start moving down.
This is like Assassin's Creed shit.
Oh, it is very very much. And then you get to the second window. Make another athletics check for me, please. There's only 2 windows.
The more I roll, the more scared I am. What are you? Okay, we're gonna use inspiration.
That's for the inspiration is like a luck point, so you can re-roll the d20.
I can just re-roll it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's like the inspiration you get from just being a player in the DM stuff. Yeah.
Okay. That's a 13.
13. So as you're kind of moving across and you're dipping down to get below the next window, your foot slips out from underneath you and you lose yourself, but you manage to hold on with your arms and your body just kind of like dangling out into space. You make a little noise. Okay. And as you're pulling yourself up, you see the shadow of the patrolling guard like come up to the window, and he's just standing there. And like looking out, you freeze. And you're holding on by your hands.
Wait, I'm going to whisper. Can I signal Thistle to run up to the window?
distraction.
So you whisper to Thistle, and he runs out of your pocket and up your arm, and then he gets onto the window ledge, and then the guard is like, you can hear the guard from the inside. What the fuck is a squirrel doing on the outside of the palace? Hey, there's a squirrel out here.
Back up this
And then there, like, somebody, like another shadow appears in the room, and you're like, that's awful far from the park. How did he get up here? I've heard there's so many no squirrels in the park recently. What is going on with all of this? And then, like, they just kind of like watch there for a second. But you are dangling by your hand. So make another athletic check for me, please.
Natural 20.
Okay. So you grit through the pain of dangling there. And then eventually they lose interest in the fact that there's a squirrel out there, and then they kind of head back around. You pull yourself up and you make your way along the last leg of the journey. And you are going around the outer curve of this section of the palace. And then you get to a last window, and you realize
You know what I do, Josh?
yeah.
Activate my winged boots. That I won't forget about every single fucking.
You would have remembered them had you been falling for 1,000 feet.
I would. I was testing myself.
Yeah.
This was all a test to see where you go.
Well,
But all the
let's forget
anxiety and the
magic
grit-
wards around, any detect magic. So
Fucking time I really need it.
So you just like, oh shit, you activate them, and then you just like are hovering outside this window.
Yeah, my arms get too tired. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good.
So you
I
are.
will get Thistle back because I don't want him to get stuck.
Yeah, he comes with you. All right, so you are hovering kind of outside the window, and you are looking into a slightly like there's some lamp light coming from inside this space. You're looking into a space that's very well apportioned. Go ahead and make a perception check as you're looking through the window.
Okay. $25.
25. Okay. So as you're kind of like glancing in, you're staying a little off to the side, so in the event that somebody is looking out that they don't necessarily see you. And this looks to be like a sitting room area. There's like walls with bookshelves. There's a table with kind of like a settee and like a couch in this space. And then there's a doorway beyond that where there's light pouring out from there. And then you can see like the double doors that the guards are standing outside, but you're seeing the interior version of them here. So this is like the sitting chamber area of his quarters.
Okay. So there doesn't seem to be anybody in there.
Not in that one. There's another window further down on this wall as well.
I'll check that window.
Okay, so you float over to the other window, and you look in there. This is a bedroom. There is a very large 4-posted bed with draperies here, and lying in bed you see one Prince Ficus.
Okay. How's he looking? Pretty bad?
Yeah, he's you can see like he seems to be asleep. His eyes are closed, but there's like just like beads of sweat on his forehead. He's like he's shirtless and like out of the covers, and there's just like it looks like he's just like hot and burning up from a fever, perhaps.
Oh, that's really sad. I'm gonna break into his quarters now.
Okay, go ahead and make a thieves' tools check for me,
I'm gonna
please.
get not to the bedroom.
Okay.
To the other room.
Okay.
And I'm gonna very just quietly open the door, the lockpick if I need to, and just be really, really quiet and hope that he's too out of it to hear me.
Okay. So you get back to the window and you just unlock the window.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a thieves' tools check for me, please. That's dexterity plus proficiency.
And you know what? If this is magic, then fucking so be it. Okay. Plus 9 is a 23.
23. Okay. So you kind of weed in, and you like have to like slide in the tool and like lift up a latch that's on the interior side, and so you're carefully moving it up, and you lift up the latch and it swings aside, and then you kind of use the tool to pry the window open, and it swings open, and you see like this silver line around the interior of the window.
Okay, interesting. And that's magic, sure.
You get the sense that it is magical in nature, yes.
Okay. Do I recognize it as like...
Make a Arcana check for me, please.
Okay. Nat 20, baby.
You know that this is the alarm spell.
No way to put that one off, huh?
I mean, you could attempt to somehow damage or break the chain, but the very act of breaking the silver line is what sets off the spell. Yeah.
Right. And there's no way to... Okay. Now this is crazy. But hear me out. Is the same thing, if I look through the window in Vicus's room, is the same thing there?
Both of his windows are alarmed. Mm-hmm.
Okay. But don't mind me just looking through something really.
You're fine.
Don't mind me. If this is so stupid. What I'm about to do is, I genuinely, this is about to be one of the dumbest things I've ever pulled in this game, I think. Oh my god. This is
We are recording, right?
Yes.
I have to double check that this is, there's nothing else that I think is a smarter, more wise thing to do here. Okay. I'm going to close the window to just like, so it's just a little bit open.
Okay.
I'm gonna send Thistle in there. And I'm gonna hide.
Okay.
So Thistle sets off the alarm spell. But I'm gonna press him against a wall so they don't see me.
Lord. All right. So Thistle crosses through,
Little guy.
and then like hops in the middle of the room, and about 2.5 seconds after Thistle's entrance into the room, you hear the front doors like push open, and two of the Abura come in, spears out, and like scanning around, and then they're like, how the fuck did they square get in here? You said that there was a squirrel outside, and now he is in here. How did he get in here? And like they're like, I don't know. What do we do about this squirrel in the thing? And like they're trying to like catch Thistle, and Thistle's like diving around the space and dodging around. Yeah,
I would have told Thistle to go like under their legs. Like when people come in, I would have told him to run into the hallway and start a fucking Scooby-Doo chase.
Oh, Lord. So Thistle takes off.
And that I will find him later.
Okay.
We'll reconvene.
Yeah. So the one of the Abura kind of go back out as he goes out, and they like start chasing after him that way. But they send the patrolling, not Abura guards after the things. Like get the wild creature out of here. Send him back to the forest. And they chase after. And then like one stays in the sitting room for a minute and like is scanning the space. Like walks over to the window. Like opens the window. Notices that it's unlatched.
It's a dexterous little squirrel.
Opens the window. Is about to stick their head out. What are you doing?
I would be floating above.
Okay.
Little man from falling.
So they like look out and they kind of are scanning around. Let's see if they look up. They look kind of like to the right and the left. And they close the window behind them, and you hear it latch closed again.
Cool.
They rolled a 5. They did not look up.
Nice. is, do they leave?
You hear moments later, like the steps retreating into the hallway.
Okay. I want to.
You also know enough about the alarm spell is that doesn't make it go away.
Yeah.
That was the whole point.
No.
Yeah, but it was fun.
Maybe I think it's funny that Mar thinks is how it works, and then they're like, "Oh, it didn't
Okay.
work."
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Because what I'm gonna do now that that's happened is I'm going to go. This is so stupid. Oh my god. I'm about to do a dumber thing, I think.
Okay.
Is the thing. Now that I have successfully set off the guards and all that, I'm going to open the window to Vicus's room.
Okay. Go ahead and make a Thieves' Tools check for me, please.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, super high. 27.
All right. You slide in and lift the latch, and it is unlocked.
Okay. I would like to get Vicus's attention.
Okay.
I would like to just be like,
Okay. He kind of like rolls over in the bed for a moment.
Prince Vicus. I feel like that's more respectful. I would like to retcon that I said Prince Vicus.
Yeah.
You should be respectful when you're breaking into his room.
He rolls.
Well, I feel like I'm not breaking in. I just opened the window.
I mean, you know.
He rolls over in bed for a moment, and like his eyes like flutter, and he like looks. What the fuck?
Hi. No. Hi. It's Marlo. Avion. I was on the ticket takers.
What?
We've never really talked before. Hi.
How are you?
I'm sorry you're not feeling well.
That's really high up. How are you?
It is. Well, no, I tilt so you can see the boots.
Oh.
Yeah. So, hi. I just wanted to. I'm really worried about you. 'Cause, you know, the sick thing, and I think you're in danger. And I just wanted to. Is it? Because because I get it, you know, like I get it, and I'm gonna shift my werewolf hand at him,
He.
and I'm gonna say, I get it.
He's like, the fuck? He kind of like
I'm not
backs up.
threatening you.
Like, what the fuck?
No, I'm
Are
not-
you here to like? Is this a threat? Are you?
No, it's not a threat. But I just explicitly said it's not a threat. Vicus.
But then you like did this thing.
No, I was showing you something. I was showing you that I'm, you know,
I don't know what you're talking about.
insight check.
Go ahead.
I want to know if he knows.
Yeah.
God, he might legitimately know.
He might legitimately not fucking know, and that's
I,
really.
I considered this.
I know. I considered this too. 28.
Legitimately terrified.
Oh my God.
Has no idea.
He
Doesn't know.
And with a 28, I'll give you. Vicus is wearing a very unique necklace.
Oh, suppressing his shit, probably.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! I'm having a conflict. Oh no!
Like
I'm
how
having
Jury
internal
got locked.
conflict. I'm having internal conflict. Oh no! Oh no!
Oh my god. Airborne crisis.
Oh my god! Am I
I
about
just
to?
see Marlo spinning like they're pacing.
What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck?
Oh no.
I'm gonna lean forward. I'm gonna. Prince Vicus, I know that you don't know me from anybody, but I feel like there's something very important that you need to know.
He kind of like leans back. He's very far from the window. He knows that if you cross the window, that guards will appear. But he's listening.
Have you ever taken off that necklace?
He puts his hand. No. My mother told me that it was to protect me. And that I shouldn't take it off.
I think when she said that, it was true. But Vicus, I think there's something very important about yourself that you need to know.
I don't know what are you talking about?
I think if I say it, you're not going to believe me. But you and I are a lot more alike than you know.
I'm not a werewolf.
I'm not calling you one.
I'm just a man.
How long have you been sick?
My whole life, off and on.
I think there's a very specific reason why, Vicus. And I feel like I shouldn't be the one to tell you this. It's probably very dumb of me to tell you, but I can't sit by and just let you not know.
What are you... Is Alyria playing a joke on me? Is this Abel?
Actually, Alyria and Abel would fucking murder me if they knew what I was doing right now. I guess... When I say this, I'm not calling you evil. I'm not calling you villain or monster, okay? Because I've been called all those things for what I am. I think you're a Rakshasa.
He steps back. I don't even... Why would you say something like that?
Take off the necklace, Vicus.
But my mother said that it is a protection.
Vicus, creatures who are away from the veil for too long get sick.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
With disadvantage? Why?
You just told him that it's a Rakshasa.
Why ever would that happen?
Window.
I don't really, honestly, gang, I didn't expect...
Wait, did Vicus not know that he was...
He didn't know. I rolled a 29 insight. He doesn't fucking know.
So his necklace has been suppressing his nature, and he's never figured it out.
Also, I just need everyone to know I have nothing added to persuasion, but I just rolled a 17 and an 18.
Wow.
Nice.
So he is kind of looking at you for a moment, and let's see what his insight is.
Rakshasa can be tricky, though.
And he's...
April, I rolled a 29.
He's watching you.
I was on the phone, guys.
That's okay.
You're good. I'm just like...
I'm watching.
You mostly missed Mar do all of the work of dangling off the side of the building and then realize that Mar can fly.
Heard that part. Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know if you saw me try to distract the guards and break the alarm spell by sending my squirrel through and sending them on a Scooby-Doo chase with my squirrel before realizing
that's not how it breaks the alarm spell. So
really cool shit here. This is a really well thought out bit.
He's looking at you for a moment, and he's reading the sincerity of your voice. And you see him like step back and then fall down beneath behind the bed where you can't really see him very well. And then he kind of rises up, and you see tiger features, the reversed hand.
Ugh.
What the fuck? What is this?
Vicus. I know all this secondhand, but I'm going to tell you what I know. Your mother was a Rakshasa, She came to the Nuevean royalty for help and protection. You're
For blackmail, but good.
shut up.
You're not there.
I hear Abel's voice in my head, and I go, "Shut up!" Yeah. Oh fuck! Where was I? Your mother, the queen, she could not have children, and she took you in, and she raised you as her own, and no one knows this, but they love you, Vicus. They did this to protect you. But it's not okay that you don't know.
But what is this supposed to make me?
It makes you you. And now you know the full truth of what you are. But Vicus, I'm a fucking werewolf, okay? Every full moon, I go berserk. Okay? And it sucks, and people are gonna think I'm a monster for the rest of my life, but I am what I am, okay? But it's what I do that matters. It's the same thing for you.
He kind of like puts the necklace back on, and you see him revert back. I need to see my mother.
Okay.
He puts on a cloak.
I understand that this may be difficult. If you could keep my name out of this one. I'm gonna be honest, Vicus. I came to your quarters for a completely different purpose, and then
So
this was really not planned out. I thought that you knew, and it fucking sucks that you didn't.
He kind of looks. I don't think you're the problem.
Yeah.
That's ominous.
Please be safe. If you need me for anything, I will help you, okay? And if that means wanting to get out of this palace, I will help you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know what else. I don't know what to do.
I don't think there's a right thing to do in this situation.
Well, let's find out what the wrong thing is then, shall we? And he throws a cloak on and walks out of this room.
Cool. I would like to go down, please. And I would like to go to the palace lobby. I don't know.
Palace
I need
lobby.
to find someone else right now.
So as you are as you are flying down, Marlo, with your perception, you see Ogon. He's leaving the tram, like walking towards the palace.
That's not the person I want to talk to.
No, but he's walking towards the palace. Like you all said that he needed to be with his wife when he finished his work.
Fuck.
So he's there. Now, ticket takers.
Yeah.
One of you sitting in the beautiful kind of like walled in garden of of Amalia's estate, eating cookies.
That's
One of you sitting kind of at the edge of the entrance chamber of the palace, the large open windows like looking out over the city. One of you flying down towards the courtyard. One of you weaving back up on the tram to the main portion of the palace from below. You all have an eye about what is to come. Marlo first. From the west, you see shadows moving amongst the stars.
God damn it.
4. Large. Winging closer. As they get close to Nuevea, they begin to spread out, and you distinctly see the patterns of wings, long necks. One shoots down towards the Lantern District, and you see a burst of fiery energy explode across the ground, and you see buildings go up in flames. Another one winging down towards another area, blasting a trail of poisonous energy through. A third winging around behind, and this icy breath shatters across the space. The largest of the 4 wings up towards the palace. And the first time that you see, this is a full-grown adult blue dragon. The prismatic array has come for their king. Nuevea, we request your immediate surrender. And that's where we'll pick up next time.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh my god!
As you are all very separated from each other.
We're so separated.
And it's the same night, so spell slot's gone.
Not a single spell.
No.
I spent no spell slots.
Yep.
Hey, let's just hope
That's
that
not one.
Abel's dad was able to finish the machine before he left to go, or at least close enough where someone can throw the switch and.
Did we know what the machine did? I don't
I
remember
don't
if
think we did. They said they would have to stay up all night to finish it.
He said he wouldn't leave it until it was done. Yeah.
Fine.
Okay.
This has been like several hours worth
Okay,
of like
cool,
conversations
cool.
and like
Yeah.
movements and things. Oh, I will say the last thing that the Blue Dragon did before they released that statement is that they kind of released their arms, and these like orbs began to fall all over the palace area. And
My glove.
and you just see like every place where an orb like hit the ground, it like poof, and one of the draconids like popped out like Pokeballs. So there's like dozens of draconids now swarming around, and you can assume that that's probably happened in other parts of the city as well.
Okay. Did we ever hear what the machine does? I don't remember.
You get a sense that it's tied to the spell that your mother was crafting in her brain.
Oh, okay. Cool. So she hasn't even finished the spell that's supposed to be running through the machine?
She was working on it.
Spell?
They're talking about in the meeting.
And I did not realize that Vicus was not aware of his.
We didn't know.
had
we
no
didn't
idea.
know. Nobody
No one
knew.
sussed
Gosh,
that
you
out.
evil bastard!
I missed a lot.
I think I had like thought about it, but
We
then there
talked
was
about
so
it.
much shit with him that it was like, oh, he's gotta know.
I will-
And then
You
I was
and-
like,
You and I talked about that being a possibility.
we talked
I
about
am-
it as a possibility, but like a while ago.
I'm nothing if not consistent with themes, and having jury's truth locked away. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna pair
There's
that directly.
April
Yeah.
and
Laura.
literally all
Yep.
of us.
Oh,
That's a
man,
consistent
I had to
theme.
break it to both of them.
Yep.
I ranked both these teenagers.
God, Mar, you considered becoming a therapist after this. You're very good at the hard truth
I
route.
couldn't listen. Me as a player. No, I didn't want to tell Vicus.
No, but that's what Mars
Mars
was building
character.
towards.
Oh, yeah.
Tell Vicus,
Mars' full
dude.
last arc was about that.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I literally asked Josh, I was like, where would Abel find Vicus? Because Abel was going to probably have the same conversation. So
Yeah.
we didn't do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
You should do it.
Yeah,
Phillips.
just for your reference, Marlo got the information about the prismatic array. The 4,
Yeah.
so that's not all of them, but you get the sense that you've got Brine, the Maelstrom, Derico, the Hurricane, Killian, the Earthshaker, and Belphegor, the Volcano, are the 4 adult, full-grown dragons that are in this space right now.
Is our green dragon friend a part of this prismatic?
No,
No, it's all dragons we haven't.
yeah, there's interestingly enough, there's no green dragon, which Tiernan would be the green dragon because he's the oldest of Derek, or he's the oldest of that
he hasn't
clutch.
signed that
He hasn't signed on. And so
I have the list of everybody who signed on to that.
He's the only one. Every other color is represented in the prismatic array.
And why are they targeting Nuevea specifically?
They're working for the king.
Because they work for a priori.
Or they work for Ahriman, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, they work for. I mean, I can hold on. I have the document where it's like the exact written thing.
The Volmir
that'd be a great
Rylas's.
refresher.
It's Volmir Rylas's or Victor Rylas's.
I guess keep it because we wouldn't know this stuff.
I think
No,
I think this is something
shared
that
this with all
this was
these
shared
guys.
with everybody at some
It
point.
was in the master plan. It was in the master document.
this
No.
is
so it's our parents who refuse to awaken and take their places as the new gods in this world abandoned by their makers. So it's our responsibility to rise and lead a world under the assault of dark powers and the idiocy of man. The prismatic ray, the most powerful children of the Empyrean host, will discover the way to unlock the power of the parents and become the avatars of godlike power in the realm. Current members: Armand, the Violet, the Farseer, Quillian,
Quillian,
the Orange, the Orange, the Earthshaker, and then the four that Josh listed.
Yeah. Oh, Nephrite's the only one that's not. There was no yellow dragon present at this assault, so you can assume that there's a fifth dragon somewhere as well. And Ahriman's not here, and neither, Ahriman's not here, nor is his son.
So
Wait. So the four, minus Nephrite.
Nephrite's not there,
yellow one.
and you've seen that you've seen Volmir in his dragon form. He's not present, and then Ahriman's on this list, so you can assume that an ancient violet dragon is not present here as well.
We
Yeah,
can't. No. I don't want to take that right now.
yeah.
okay?
These are full adult dragons. Yeah.